Very fitting that he's here at Wembley. It's very fitting that you've got Tyson Fury after 4 years coming home. So the fans are in for a massive treat. Massive treat. He's the best heavyweight of his generation, lineal champion. He ticks all the boxes. I mean, who else could run a press conference on their own except Tyson Fury? He was brilliant.
Talking of that, running the press conference on his own, Tyson Fury did a great job leading the way. What are your thoughts on Dillian Whyte not showing up to the press conference today?
Well, it's totally unprofessional. You know, he has it's industry practice for any time you announce a fight for both the participants to be there. We start going down the road where people are not going to show it up. Who are you guys going to interview? How are we going to sell shows? Just doesn't work. We're lucky that it's Tyson who's such a larger-than-life character. But it's not the way forward. And you know, somebody asked me, would I get into some sort of tit for tat with Matchroom, for example, if they were to win a purse bid? No, I wouldn't, because it's not good for boxing. It's dreadful that anybody should even contemplate that. And it's ridiculous and outrageous that people, his legal or business advisor, it was telling us we can't even use his photograph on the poster. I've never heard anything like this in my life. And we agreed yesterday, just to make sure that he was here, to lay a private jet on from between here and Portugal, get back on the same day. But, you know, started then making other stupid demands, and enough was enough.
Frank, without Dillian being here today, are you concerned at all about the pay-per-view buys for this fight?
No, I'm not at all. I mean, look, you're going to get a feel for it tomorrow when the tickets go on sale. So let's see what we do tomorrow. Ticketmaster will have our permission to say how many tickets they've sold tomorrow. I think they're going to do really well. This place is going to be set out for full capacity, and I expect every seat to be sold.
Frank, where does this rank in the top UK British heavyweight fights that you've fought throughout your long, illustrious career?
That I've tried, well, it's probably, this is the most expensive one, that's for sure. So it's that, and it's a good fight. You know, I mean, the last time I was at Wembley was when Frank Bruno fought Oliver McCall, long before any of you lot were born, I think. But yeah, it's a big fight. It's a big fight, and I'm really thrilled and delighted to be doing it.
In terms of the purse bid that you put forward, obviously you said it was a record-breaking purse bid. Obviously that indicates how important it was for you to host this fight.
Yeah, I mean we did, and we bid, was it just under 10 million more than Matchroom, who are with Dillian, and you know all these complaints from Dillian. If we hadn't made a bid, he'd be getting 2 million less than we're putting up. So there's some upside. Keep using that word upside. And on top of that, he's got the potential of getting another 4 million on the if he wins the fight. That 4 million's lodged with the WBC, so he's got everything to go for, everything. And it's a disgrace that he's not here. It's a disgrace not to be here.
So in terms of the fact that obviously you put in this record-breaking purse bid, Dillian's not showed up. Obviously, do you feel that his not showing up, the social media blackout, they are mind games on his part, or does he just not want to be involved?
I don't think they're mind games. I just think they're related, so I can't use the language I want to use. I think they're just jerk-offs. That's what they are. Why would you even do that? You know, that's like saying we want all this money, but we want it to be a failure. What planet are they on? You know, this is about boxing. This is our World Cup. Boxing's World Cup. You know, Wembley. This is we're here. This should be about us all working together and making a success. You're getting 8 million. When do you ever have 8 million? You know, his last person lodged with a WBC was 300 grand.
Frank, can I just ask some comments that Dillian Whyte's lawyer made about not getting complimentary tickets and not a guarantee of fighting?
Can I just say, this is what happens. WBC put that fight out for negotiation. Made him the number one, put it out for negotiation. Neither side could agree terms. So the next stage is purse bids. Purse bids is definitive. The winner gets it, you've got a standard contract, and you sign it. There's no more negotiations. That's why you go to purse bids. But they want to have a negotiation after we won the purse bid. And we did agree certain things. You know, complimentaries and whatever. He's getting $8 million. Go and buy some tickets out of the $8 million. We've got to make this work. We're businessmen. We'll put this money up for a huge amount of money. And we're not getting any help. Do me a favour. It's getting 2 million more than you would have got had it been on Matchroom show.
And what would your message be to Dillian Whyte?
Stop being a jerk and get duped and be professional and do what you're supposed to do.
Frank, Tyson, Dillian and Eddie Hearn have made comments about the social media blackout. Tyson not being on social media to promote the fight, Dillian not promoting the fight, Eddie claiming that him not being involved is going to cost pay-per-views. How do you respond to that?
Well, we would say that. Why does he keep worrying about what we've done? He had his opportunity to win the fight. He didn't put a winning bid on. Get on with whatever he's doing. Why does he keep worrying about always what other people's shows are? He's always got something to say. You know, when we made Tyson against Wilder in the States, he won't show up. He won't fight. It's not going to happen. It's constant with him. It's all about him. We don't care. We put our money up. Good money, record money up. Biggest money for any two British heavyweights ever. That's what we put up. So I don't know what the problem is. You know, Tyson will promote this show. Of course, he's going to promote it. What he asked for was a bit of a break, not from being pestered by some people, so he can focus on his training. Of course, he's going to promote. What was he doing today? He was here promoting it, accommodating to everybody, and that's how he is, because he is larger than life. You know, he's the guy that makes it all work. That's the reason he's getting 80% of the purse. That's the reason his last fight he got paid $20 million, because of who he is.
Do you think Dillian will promote this fight in any capacity at any press conference during fight week?
Well, you know, look, you know what? Contracts work both ways. First of all, you know, we know where we're going with what his obligations are. So there'll be something. Obviously, we're not going to be sitting down and letting that just happen. But it also works what we have to deliver. So, you know, we too can play at that game. Not that I want to be petty or stupid. All I want to do is have a successful promotion. Who wants to play that game, we play that game.
Of course, we all know about the Taylor Catterall decision on the weekend. What are your thoughts on the scoring of the British boxing board of control, and what could be done to change this?
Well, I generally think with these, we've had a few of these now. People need to be accountable. If you're a football referee, you get demoted. If you're a Premiership referee and you don't come up to scratch, they demote you down to the Champions League and so forth. And that should be the same with boxing. It should just be, you know, on to the next one. They need to do something about it. It's upsetting. You know, look, Josh Taylor is a great fighter. I mean, he's magnificent what he's done. Really a good fighter. And Jack went into the Lions Den. I thought Jack won the fight. I thought certainly one judge's score card was abysmal. And Josh, to his credit, said that he'd give him a rematch, but not that weight. So poor Jack's never going to fight for those 4 belts. That was his moment to do it. And went into the Lions Den to do it. And by the way, all those people who are trolling Josh Taylor, you're out of order. He's a great fighter. He's done brilliant for British boxing and Scottish boxing.
You mentioned that something should be done. What, in your opinion, should be done?
Demote them. Move them down.
And do you think that Britain now has a poor global reputation in terms of scoring?
I speak to people and they don't like it. Of course they don't. And we're making fights when they start having these arguments over officials and so forth. It's wrong. It shouldn't be that. This country used to be the place where you got the fairest shot. You know, it's fair. And that's how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. And it needs to be dealt with.
You've mentioned that you don't want any British officials on the judging panel.
No, I don't. I don't want any of this. I want the best officials from around the world to officiate. For me, it's a record-breaking fight. You know, we put our money up. I don't want no controversy on the night. And listen, we know that sometimes things are debatable. They're close fights. You can watch it one way or another. But I don't want nothing debatable. Tyson, by the way, says it won't be debatable because he's going to finish it with that. But the facts of the matter is we don't need this in the sport. And the press for the last couple of days has been really negative about boxing. And this stuff don't help either when you've got somebody don't come and show up at the press conference. It's harming the sport.
Frank, with this being a mandatory fight, does Tyson have a rematch?
No, it's no rematch.
And also, what do you make of Anthony Joshua backing Dillian Whyte to win this fight?
Well, I'm sure that's what he wants, doesn't he? You know, he doesn't want to see Tyson out. He'd much rather fight Dillian Whyte than fight Tyson. That's